Come on.
When markets move, Stephen E. Orr takes the chair. From the White House to Wall Street, he's spent decades at the intersection of policy, markets, and real capital. And he's seen firsthand how institutions use data behind closed doors. Now, as founder of Quasar Markets, his mission is to pull those signals into the open so everyone can see what really moves the markets. This is Stephen E. Orr, Big Beat on Wall Street. Let's filter the future live.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Quasar Markets Live. It is Monday, December 29th, the last trading week of the year. Big Beat's here with me today. We got the S&P 500 knocking on the door of 7,000. Volatility waking up a little bit, and markets doing their best roller coaster impression. Big Beat, what are you watching this morning?
Silver, hi-ho Silver. Last week I called it. I called the top on Silver. I screened it as loud as I could. I didn't do it live here, obviously, because we were holidays, but I banged the desk and I said, look, Silver top is in. Be short. I even said be short. Normally I don't say that, right? I don't tell people what to do, but this was obvious. I mean, this was nonsense to me. I called it nonsense, and here we are. So we've dropped almost 10% here. Looks like 8.3% already. Probably going to go a little more. It was just paper. It was chasing. It was crazy. That was nonsense.
Well, a big part of this is the margin requirement changes.
Yes, of course. And we knew that. Look, if you don't know how the market actually works, this is part of it. And guess what? Your charts don't tell you that. Your charts don't tell you CME is going to change the margin requirements. That's institutional knowledge.
Raised the margin requirements 14% overnight.
That's pretty. I mean, I knew that was last time, but I knew it's gonna go higher. They're gonna, and as volatility picks up, and as the selling now, the shorts are picking into it, which now the shorts are crushing into it right now. They'll do the same thing. It's on both sides, right? It costs a lot more now to hold. If you don't know what initial margin is and maintenance margin's difference, initial is what it takes to get into the position, and then they lower it for margin to keep it, right? Which is called maintenance margin, and so. There you go. And that, to me, that was obvious. I mean, this was nuts. And I didn't, when I see things like this, it's obvious to me. So kaboom, there you go. And they're going to get hit. And I think we're going even lower. I think I'm not even looking at this until 68. So, and I think we might even go lower than that, which means to me, I got out at 58. Everybody knows I was in 19 and out of 58 and a half. But that puts me now at 64. So because and actually it's 66 now, I should say now. So I'm almost there where I'd be break even. And I'm still short. I'm not going to cover my short yet. I don't think that we're done yet. I think we continue to go lower. The number of liquidations, it wasn't just CME raising it up. There's a lot of other factors, but the paper side of this was just stupid. It was just plain stupid. People were just buying gold and silver like it was like they weren't going to make any more tomorrow, or because China or so. I heard China is issue. China's not an issue in silver, folks. I don't know why that was a news article. A lot of silver comes out of Mexico. So if you want to buy physical silver, go take a trip to Mexico. You can buy as much silver as you want. I mean, they got it. Go to the cruise line, you can see it in the store. So no, I found that to be a little asinine, of course. And then I made the posts, and it looks like I'm dead right. So yeah.
Awesome. What else are you watching there this morning?
I'm still thinking that we're going to have a Santa rally, but it looks like to me that there's a little bit of selling here going on this morning. I think we'll catch it right back up tomorrow with shortened day on the 31st, obviously. Today, I'm not too concerned about the selling today. I think a lot of it has to do, you saw the selling in silver first, and then you saw the pump in Bitcoin. So a lot of the money that was coming out of silver early went right into Bitcoin. And then, of course, that was sell-off. And we heard from Saylor buying Bitcoin again. But I don't know. I think it's still end of the year nonsense. Give it another day, and then we'll have 1st of January. I mean, I think it runs. We'll put money back into the accounts. But China is a problem in Taiwan. Iran is not getting better. It's getting worse. Cambodia. I don't care about Cambodia right now. I care about some of the bigger pieces right now. We have to keep our eye on it. But Benjamin Netanyahu coming to Mar-a-Lago. Zelensky in Mar-a-Lago. I mean, this is a major issue here. There's some big problems here, and they're starting to hit now pretty hard. On top of gold and silver, this is where you usually put money when things go wrong, right? So there's a bigger picture here, problem here.
We do see oil getting a nice start to its day, up about 2-3% here this morning. Steve, do you think that we start to see prices stabilize there?
It's still 57.93 is still spot. So no, I don't think so. I think there's still quite a bit of oil a glut coming on the market here pretty soon again. I know it got a little over 58 earlier, 58 and a quarter, I think. No, I don't think so. I don't know who's buying it right now because I think the stocks are pretty high right now. Nat Gas, same situation, right? It's cold up north, but and it's very cold up north. I wouldn't know. I had to get out fast enough, but no, I don't think so. Right? Yeah, I am seeing a few Twitter pieces here, posts here saying that we have caught the gap now in the CME on silver. This could be where the buyers step back in. I just wouldn't do that. I don't think so. I think now the chasing is the downside, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Early morning mover, the biggest one this morning has been Digital Bridge, DBRG, on news that SoftBank is in advanced talks to acquire the data center investment firm. Is that a good move for SoftBank?
Yeah, I think so. Masa-san got beaten up over the last decade for some of his bad moves. And it wasn't a bad move. It was just early. He knows that in order to make things happen, he needs those data centers. I mean, NVIDIA knows that, right? And they need money, and Masa-san's got that money. So now he's all happy. But now he's not. He's actually buying things now. So look at him, man. He's gotten away from just investing in stocks, but to actually buying pieces of the puzzle that they need to have. So I'm very impressed with Masa-san's move on this one. Yeah, I like this a lot.
NVIDIA getting hit pretty hard this morning, down about 1.42% after an article came out in Reuters saying that maybe there isn't quite the exact merger, acquisition, whatever you want to call it, with Grok in place. You a buyer of this dip?
Not yet, but I do like this dip a lot. I will tell you that when you're looking at it from a perspective of what the high was, I think was 192. We're only $5 down off of that, right? So I'm not. No, not yet. Get it back down to the 180s, and I'll be happy again. So we'll be looking at that for sure.
Okay. You fading any of the mining companies today, Steve, on the fact that gold's turned around? Some of them were early morning leaders. Now that it's turned around significantly already, with Neiman down about 4.5%, SSRM down 5%.
No, I don't think so. I will say that I'm looking at beaten up stocks, but mining isn't one of them that I'm interested in right now. I don't see the miners have already made their big move, and I do like that side of it. So, but I don't think that's the case. I'll tell you what I do like, and it's taking the big spank is FLY. I know that's yours. I think that we could very well find a bottom here soon again. I know you're in it, and I know you don't want to hear me say this, but I think we get back down to the 16, 17 range, somewhere around there, that I think I'll be picking it back up. But you've crushed that one. So, yeah.
Yeah, I got rid of most of it on the other day, so I don't have much left.
Excellent. Love it.
Yeah.
That's why we trade.
Yep. That sector is definitely getting hit hard today. Lunar down. All of those sort of names are down here today. The low Earth orbit names, crypto names are down significantly. Data mining names down even further. Not much green in the market. About 5-6 of them up about a point. Other than that, everything is neutral to down on the day. Breadth of market not very good. Negative 1,500 on the advanced decline. So it looks like Santa might have left.
No. I think Santa came early, and Santa is sticking around. He's just eating a cookie and some milk. He's not done yet. He'll come right back up. Just give it a day or two. I think, remember Santa Claus rally started the day after the first day of opening after Christmas, and it goes all the way to first week of January. So Santa's still here. Everybody don't
That's all this week, yet. Steve. That's it. Remember, we got all that compressed into this week. In other words, the second trading day of the year that ends. So that's all going to pretty much play out by Monday.
I'm not scared. I ain't scared.
You have any predictions? S&P looks like it's going to end up right around the $7,000 prediction. I got to say, our man Jay Woods from
Freedom Capital.
Yeah, there you go. He nailed it. 7,000 with his call to start the year, before the start of the year on CNBC. I saw he was on the other day, only predicting 7,200 for the end of this year. What are you thinking about that prediction?
I predicted for next year on Schwab 7,500. So that's where I'm at. So we're in the same boat. I think maybe a little bit more bullish than he is. I think because the president really is concerned about the midterms, knowing he knows full well. As I've had long conversations over the last week with people in the administration. He definitely knows he's in trouble with the economy, and that's where you got to be. And he knows that the Democrats are probably going to win the House back, probably the Senate. That's what I'm hearing now out of Washington. That he is going to focus on the economy, trying to focus up on the war side of things. I don't want to say the peace side because they're not saying any of that yet. To January, right? But he needs to focus on the economy. And he's fully aware of that he's losing big on that. And so because of that, I think you're going to see. Now, I also think that the Fed will also be an issue. So as he brings in members of the Fed coming into it, they're going to listen to him and they're going to lower rates. So those lower rates are going to portend into the market. So that's why I'm a little bit more bullish than I had been in the past. I'm liking this though.
Awesome.
Damn, silver is getting crushed.
We're about 15 minutes from the open here. Advanced decline down 1,600, ticks down 300 so far. If we look at the different indices, NASDAQ set to open up down about 67 basis points. S&P down 42 basis points so far. Dow Jones down slightly. Sectors of the S&P, we do have a couple that are still in the green. Energy up 59 basis points. And then utilities and materials are pretty flat on the day so far. Same with real estate. So we got a little bit of a mixed bag so far. Overnight, the Nikkei was down about 82 basis points. Hong Kong with the Hang Seng down about 71. And the stocks in Europe, though, did see a green day up about 7 basis points. Defense contractors in Europe got hit pretty hard on as you mentioned, the president said that they are closer to peace than they have ever or have been since he's been around in this discussion. So whatever that means, we
Talk,
will
talk, talk,
see.
talk, talk. I want to see real things. Stop talking. Get it done. Right? We've now said it 4 times that we have a deal with China. We've had it on 5 times now. We've had a deal with Russia and Ukraine. Still not a deal, right? So, and I heard over the weekend he was saying, "Oh well, we're closer than ever," and I thought you had a deal, right? We're closer. Stop being Putin's puppet. It's got to be a situation now where we got to have real strong security issues, because I'm telling you, Poland is not playing around. They are adding as much military as they can on those corners of their land, and they're not playing around. So I this is going to get serious very quickly. And you heard over the weekend, Lavrov said, the foreign minister said, the issue with Poland is making this a concern. And he said he's calling Europe the biggest problem with it. So it's not just Ukraine trying to cut a deal here. It's Europe. So this could be a bigger issue here than we think it is. So we need to be very careful here.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, news around the globe hasn't been very positive over the weekend in general.
No.
But we'll see if that's what we get here into the open. It should be muted activity, a lot of chop, in my opinion. I don't think we'll see any directionality today.
Nope.
Across the board. No real big movers, like we said, that are out of the ordinary. More downside movers than upside runners so far. Lululemon's an interesting one, Steve. I know you talked about them a lot over the last year. Not really moving very much, but they are hitting some governance drama as their former founder, Chip Wilson's launching a proxy fight, nominating directors as the CEO transition plays out. So you gonna thinking any play on Lululemon on this?
I liked Lululemon when it was getting smacked. I don't like Lululemon now. I think it's come back up enough to cover a little bit. I'm okay now. No, I don't think so. I think right now for me, I'm playing this very tight on these companies. I will say that I do think that I have been talking about AVGO, right? The cumulative tick there. I don't know, man. I don't feel like that there's anything here that I really want to buy today.
Anything you want to short?
No. Well, I already am. I'm short silver, right? That's about it.
Okay. Tesla down at 467 here, Steve, after trying to break through 500 this week. Does it become a level where you're buying the dip in Tesla?
Nope. I still don't. I don't like Tesla. I think Tesla's getting beaten up for the right reasons. I was watching some social media posts over the weekend going, "Oh, look at Tesla pushing higher, pushing higher." It's not. It's people chasing, and the same people chasing silver, and same people chasing all the other things that just doesn't make sense anymore. And so for me, no, I don't. I don't chase. Right. That's why we didn't chase silver on the run up. Don't chase, and people are chasing, right? I made this very clear. I mentioned this at the Prosper Trading event, right? Stop pearl clutching your charts because the charts didn't tell you silver was going to get beat up because of CME. Charts didn't tell you where things are going to happen. We have some very big macro issues that are helping, but when those macro issues come off, then you use your charts, right? So what's happening right now is that people aren't understanding. Oh, well, my chart says we're going to go up here. Well, charts doesn't tell you what Donald Trump is going to say tomorrow, right? The charts aren't telling you Taiwan is going to get attacked by China. The minute that happens, your charts are worthless, right? So what I'm saying to people is just keep your eye on it. Have your thesis ready. Understand why. The charts are only a part of the thesis. And it's a big part, and a part that I love. I love trading. I love it. But no, Tesla at 471, 467 in the same damn day. We haven't even opened yet, right? So no, I don't think so. Tesla over 500. I didn't understand it then, right? So the numbers aren't adding up. So no, Howard, I don't think so. And we've been right. That's what I'm happy about, right? I'm hearing people getting their accounts are getting blown up because they chased, and I don't want people to chase. I want them to make good decisions, like you did with Fly, right? You made a good decision. You didn't base it on just the charts. You based it on a complete thesis, And that's what people need to understand, that we base it on what we think is I for those of you who don't know, I have a WhatsApp. At the back end of it, I use a thing called open source. I know what's going to happen in the markets before it even happens. Why? Oh no, there's no way. I'm not watching normal news. I had the back end news going right into my pipeline here in front of my screens. And that's what we did with Quasar Markets, put it all together, right? So when we build that thesis, it's a part of it. And when my thesis about silver at $19 was because there's a problem here that we need silver for all the things we said. But silver, people coming out of silver at $75 going, hey, there's a problem here. We need it for electric vehicles. Well, that was great at 19. It's not good at 75. And you push it to 80. Great. Even and of course, everybody here knows I shorted 79.29. I don't even know what it is now. So yeah, right now the charts don't mean anything. Now the news doesn't mean anything because CME came in. So now that was not news. That's just what the machine did to you. Right. So that's why I'm saying not even news sometimes is even a bigger issue. So that's why it's a complete picture. That's why we do what we do here.
Absolutely. 7 minutes from the open so far, ticked pretty muted to the negative side. VIX back above 15, so volatility is picking back up. It was down below 13 last week, now back up above 15 here. So
yeah, Steve Flanagan, just hey man, happy every holidays. All the videos come back today. He's just asked, does CME raising margin requirement grease the downside in silver? I think so. Yes, I mean, but we've already seen the initial over the overnight, right? We saw that part where they were dumping. There are some issues, obviously, with China. China is cutting off export of silver right now because they need it for their own machines, right? But no, not really. I mean, like I said earlier, I think we might be. We're not there yet, but we, $80 to 70. I don't know, 70, 72.57 right now. My goodness, it's yeah.
I will point out on your daily charts about to re-enter the linear regression. So where you say you couldn't have seen this on your chart, you absolutely could have as soon as it left on Friday at 71.69, and that's the area you should look for it to fall back to.
What were you saying to Howard?
Take a look at your daily linear regression on. Here you go, Steve. You'll notice that silver. Your chart did tell you where to sell it and where to buy it.
Well, as you know, linear regression changes per second, right? I mean, that's the point of linear regression. It shows
on a daily chart, it doesn't. Yeah. It only changes on a daily map. Well,
that's on a daily chart. That is true. But with the issues in silver, I mean, CME made that decision, right? So that I don't think. I mean, that was not that's a normal decision, by the way. That's not something out of the blue like they should do. That they need to do that when things are volatile like that.
They change their margin.
That's right.
How they play the game. It's also how they manipulate the game.
I'm not going to say they manipulate because that's. But they, I don't know. Tesla.
We'll have to ask Peter Thomas about that because this is. You remember he said this is the lever that they still have to move the market. Is exactly that.
And Peter Schiff said this morning. Hey, we saw it. Or we said it last night. That he's talking about now that it's time to push it up, right? So to buy this dip. I'm not sold on it. I'm just not sold on it right now. I think we go back to 68, somewhere around there.
Yes, there'll be a little bit of a buy pressure at 70, I think, but general area is about the same.
But gold is still selling off 43.89 right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not covering my short. I'm not gonna cover it at all. I mean, it'll tell me if it turns, and I'll be happy and I'll cover it. But I'm let it play out. I'm holding it all the way down. Let it go.
Dollar is starting to break back below 98. We'll have Mr. Flanagan in a few minutes to talk about that, but definitely haven't seen a real big bounce back. Slow little grind back to the upside there. And again, we've been moving basically sideways here over the last 30 minutes or so, not really moving up or down too much on the S&P and the NASDAQ so far. We'll see what we get at cash open. Bitcoin back at 87,350 after trying to get above 90,000, still unable to do so. Ethereum back below 3,000 also. So no real movement there either. Looks like a pretty flat day so far.
I mean, the 10-year now at 4.114 is still not selling off here. I mean, it's telling me that there's no real money, can't find a place to go, and it's not hiding anywhere right now. I would not be shocked. Don't be shocked if the market turns around today and pushes right back up, which I think it will be. Yes, he's right.
We'll see pretty quickly.
Yes, he's right. In past margin requirements, reserve requirement, maintenance margin increases have killed rallies. I think so too, and I think it woke people up going, "What the hell did the CME do?" A lot of these people that were buying silver didn't even understand what they mean by this, right? Because they were buying SLV, and now right now, if I'm looking at SLV, which is the actual ETF, it's trading at under 66 right now.
Yeah.
So that tells you where the curve is. So. That's what I'm saying. I'm not about one bit about to cover my short here yet. And there it is. Silver just hitting another. I think it just hit the low there of this contract in the last month. I think so. There it is. 72. I said we'll get below 72 here. There it is. 72.17 now. But I've never seen metal move this fast in my entire life, and I'm talking about crazy days too. So, I think
it's moving like a growth tech stock.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I would say it's like a freaking meme stock. This is nuts, silly.
Right, you can't deny.
But that's what happens.
Chips getting hit pretty hard across the board here. All of them in the red so far. Nothing really moving there. And even when we look through the general watch list, I see McKesson Corp up about 21 basis points. O Realty up slightly 10 basis points. Smucker's Jam, which I don't know why I have on my watch list, but I do. And Wells Fargo up about 25 basis points. Really the only thing that I normally watch that's in the green here this morning. That's pretty extensive watch list over most of the different sides of the thing. Energy, again, the only thing really moving up today. ExxonMobil now up 1%, Chevron on 62% basis points, excuse me. You following that lead, Steve? You think gas got room to, and the gas companies got room to run? Gas and oil?
It's what's interesting when people ask me over the weekend, like, hey, I need some dividends. What should I buy? And I don't tell anybody what to buy or sell, right? But people were asking me about, hey, I would like to get some dividends. And I said, okay, if you're going to look at energy, look at one that has been beaten up that I am very interested in, and that's Energy Transfer. It's ET. They're the lines. So if you want the pickaxe and shovels of energy, there you go. I think that's going to be huge as we build these big places for AI and for data centers. You're going to need the transfer itself. So I think I like ET right here because it's pretty low, I think, to me. Okay, I'm not coming up with a buy or sell, but I like the 8.5% dividend. I believe they pay monthly. So that to a lot of people that made sense, and I like that. So for me, I'm looking at ET as well.
Nice. Market is open here. First move on the NASDAQ, pretty muted, stayed right around 66 basis points. We do see the S&P is moving a little, I'd say flat, slightly downside, but not a ton there. Let's take a look at the Mag 7. NVIDIA moving to the downside, now down 2.3% here.
There it is.
Continuing to move to the downside. Tesla to the downside also.
72 broken now here on the
Mag 7 are in the red. Apple's trying to go positive on the day. I did see, Steve, that there could be big news out of Apple with a foldable device being released this upcoming fall. Thought that was interesting.
I do like SLV here, and I just bought SLV. A quick trade to the upside because I think there'll be a bounce. So some people trying to buy this bounce in silver. So I'm going to play a quick bounce. Nobody get crazy here. I'm playing a quick bounce. So
Okay. Trading at 65.78 so far.
I am in SLV at 65.66. I do have a big position on, so I think it could be a bounce here. So I do, it'll be a tight one, so it's just a play. So don't get crazy there. I'm not calling for silver to go back up crazy, but I think there'll be some buyers as we watch Bitcoin popping here a little bit too. So there goes 65.74. I'm just gonna try to make some quick cash here. 65.86. 65.88. 89. 81, 83. It's going to hold a little bit here. I think 80, 86, 88, 92, 91. And I will take that profit at 94. I like that buy up there. So quick cash. If everybody wanted, that was a nice quick cash there for us. Yeah. Oh, that's a nice play there. All right. Might go a little higher. 94. Yeah, I'm still at 65.94. I think I jumped that. Right. So those of you watching, playing at home, we won again, right? That's what we do. So
starting to pick up here a little bit. VIX has moved down on the open to 1482, so it's given a little bit of breathing room there. Also, Bitcoin 87,700 is moving slightly to the upside on the open. Oil continues to remain up about 2.47%. Mag 7 again. Apple, the only one in the green so far. Tesla now down 236. Steve, you might get your 460 here pretty quickly. Nvidia down at 186 and change.
You know what? I kind of like this Tesla move here. It is at the bottom of that 1 hour linear regression, so I do like that.
See a nice little jump here on the open by a data center IREN up 1.46. It was one of the early morning laggards. Same thing. Clean Spark up 1.47% here.
Fly is flat.
What was that?
There were some buyers and fly there for you.
Yeah, all those names moved back up. Lunar, so people are buying the dip a little bit here. Coinbase up about 84 basis points. Galaxy Digital having a nice day up 2.09%. We're in a SoFi position. That's pretty flat on the day. Still in the money on the
66 now on silver there.
tick is picking up, continuing to move to the upside. We do see the Qs have now broken to the upside a little bit, only down 50 basis points, a half a percentage point. Same thing, S&P moving slightly to the upside too. So we are seeing buyers start to step in, as Steve said. 87,850 here on Bitcoin, trying to make a little run.
88,000 here coming up. Yeah. AI 14.19 a share, like that's a 1.6% here. So, you know, we're turning green here.
Yep,
I think
buyers step in.
Santa Claus is here, folks. I mean, you know, look, the selling is trying to spook you, and I'm not spooked here.
We'll warn, a lot of the names that are up, though, are those crypto-based names.
There you go, 88,000 on Bitcoin again.
Yeah, they tend to get these runs and then turn around, though. You see BitDare up about 4.5% here. Hut 8 up 2.74. Galaxy, as I mentioned, up 2.67. Energy names continue to move up here. CEG up about 2.31% this morning. Diamondback Energy having a pretty good day, up about 1.65% also.
Oil is pushing a little bit here, 58.27 now barrel. Not a lot, but there goes the keys. There you go. Yeah, my back end of all the things that's going on around the world is just the last couple of days have just been going absolutely nuts lately. UNH up a little bit here this morning, $1.50.
Yeah, UNH having a good start to the day. Tech, not really. Tech is still what's lagging here. Just trying to get a comeback here as we see chips are now gone. A lot of them have gone neutral at least. ESM up nicely here a little bit.
I have a lot of friends that went to the park, Disney Park this weekend, and I can tell you the parks were absolutely crushed this weekend. I
will echo that. Winterfest here at Kings Island, which is Six Flags, just record numbers, crazy. People complaining all over social media. We went one day, we didn't even go on any of the rides. We just took the little one to see all the lights and the parades and stuff because it was such a crazy amount. Yeah, I definitely echo that, Steve. And that was, that's a winter park in cold weather.
MongoDB
had 60-degree weather that helped out this weekend.
MongoDB gets spanked right here, dropping MDB. That's interesting.
You see NBIS, Nibius making a nice little move up here, up a 0.5 percentage point now. Same thing, seeing Kratos go positive on the day. Steve mentioned UNH. Coinbase has gone positive here. Gemini positive.
Boy, I like MDB here. I'm buying MDB here on this drop here.
Which one?
MDB. MongoDB.
Oh, MongoDB.
Yeah.
Looks like it's trading at about 425, although it also looks like my trading views.
And I have bought some MDB here. Yeah. Let's see. I went at market, and wow. I'm in at 425.37. Not a lot of changed hands yet, so.
Yeah, not much volume considering how it usually moves about 1.87 million in volume. I literally was sitting here saying I thought my trading view had stalled. Now it is moving.
426.21. If you're paying attention to home there, 425.84. There's a lot of movement here. So just there's not a lot of in there, but just be careful. 426.36. It's popping all over the place now. So
it's got almost $1 spread.
It does. 426.74 for those of you who are playing at home. Yeah.
It doesn't usually have that kind of spread. This is usually a 2-3 penny spread here.
427.04.
Crazy.
And yeah, why not take that money and run? I did. There you go. I'm out. That's 2 wins today. That's how it's done, nice. Folks. 427.55. Let's see. Oh, nice move there on MongoDB. Yeah. 425.70 to at 427. Got out at 427.22. So I think it's a little bit. Yeah, there it is. There's the move. So
awesome.
There you go. That's 2 for 2.
There you go.
ABGO almost positive again. Only down a couple bucks now, so we should see that movement back up.
NVIDIA bouncing back up nicely here at 188. Chips in general is seeing an upside movement. Tick is still slightly down. We don't see a big jump one way or the other. The NASDAQ is Qs are pumping here. It's only down 24 basis points. So nice little move last 9 minutes or so.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's low volume, folks. So be careful out there. This is an easy one. Your charts do actually work quite well here today. This is a charting day. So look, another one here. I'm liking here now. Pull up a 1 hour chart on SNOW, SNOW, now 223.94. That one could be. I've not made a move here. Well, for 224 now, 5 could be a move. Oh yeah.
Tesla trying to move off the lows of the day here. Dollar index back below 98 here.
ASTS pumping here now up 3% here. So yeah, AI I'm now up 2% here. So just keep your eye here. And this is what I'm saying. This could be one of those things where the morning move was the wrong move. But remember, it is a
yeah. They're sort of recovering the morning losses or the end of day losses. Yeah, and listen, the volatility definitely there, and these are the names that these are the beta names that move the most. Your ASTSs, your FLYs, your IRENs, your HUT, your crypto data mining centers. They tend to move quickly. There's volatility across all these sectors. But today they look like they want to run. Definitely look like they want to run. Lunar now up 6.82%. Was on the early pre-market laggard list. You see Newmont down about 5.3%. Mining names, SSRM down 5%. ALB down 4.46%, CNX down 4%. So we do see they're getting hit the hardest. Some of the Chinese names here in the U.S. are also getting hit today. Lee Motors down about 2.52%, EPTA down 3.63%. So a few of those down here. Steve, one of your favorite eateries down about 2.31%. You ready to buy a little cake today, Steve?
No, not yet. I will tell you
towards its all-time high. Well, not its all-time high, but it's
correct. Yeah, it's pretty much it. We talked about it for so long, and now we're there, right? So
yeah, it hit lows of $43 back in November, back up at $52.53 here. But most of the news when it comes to restaurants has been about value. The consumer is still very price sensitive. McDonald's has leaned into that. So has Darden as a restaurant group, and they've seen good earnings results and good walk.
Fly is up 5% here. I might have missed this move here. I want to get back. I want to get back in, but I just didn't do it.
At 24.50. Was pushing 30 the other day. Bitcoin trying to get back above 88 here. Mixed bag across the chip sector so far.
It is.
And Greg Peters at the Warner Brothers studio lot in Burbank. It was like, that was coming out around the same time as Paramount was trying to adjust its bid. It feels like they're already
nothing says investments won't choose to raise should they need to.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet.
Yeah, there's not much I'm really seeing. Like I said,
we've had a good morning already. I mean, it's been no reason to chase this. We've had a great morning. That's what I mean. We don't need to be in the markets, and the VIX is jumping here. The BXX up 0.5% now. So, folks, I would be careful here. I'm not, this run. It's all low volume, and it is chart making. So I like that side of it. And this is what I mean when charts are applicable, apply it. When they're not applicable, don't apply it.
drinking affected my job and relationships.
Steve, I will tell you, I'm keeping an eye on Brown Forman, BF.B.
I had long chats about Brown Forman over the weekend. Folks, I'm going to tell you right now, alcohol is not selling. That's it. I mean, I've heard it from everybody. Every place I went to over the weekend, I can tell you alcohol is done. I mean, people are, and I don't mean done forever, but it's done right now. People are having trouble selling alcohol right now. I don't know if you're seeing the same, Howard, or not, but it is a mess out there. A mess out there for alcohol. We've seen layoffs. I mentioned this about six months ago that I expected this to happen. Here we are, and it is. I mean, layoffs are ridiculous. Jack Daniels laid off another 1,400 people. I was hearing in the Yuengling factory here, they have 3 shifts. The third shift is already gone. They laid off everybody. The third shift's gone. Second shift has been cut in half. So it's not just alcohol; it's everything. And I had a pretty big talk about this over the weekend. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot to unpack on what you said there, but first of all, Jim Beam, the biggest news that's driving all these down is Jim Beam, their Claremont facility where they make their white label, is going to stop production for a full year due to overproduction. Yeah, they, what it is, and the numbers aren't as terrible as you would lead it, but you got to remember this is an industry or a sector in the industry, bourbon, that was rising at about 5-6% per year. It's now saw a 2% pullback last year. But when you forecast out on bourbon, you've got to be right 4 to 6, 8 years in advance, because you got to age those. So they overproduced over the last 10 years, considering that they thought that continued, footprint. And also keep in mind, while in the US that consumer shift has happened, the rest of the world hasn't. But the tariffs are really hurting us. In other words, in countries in Europe and countries like Canada where consumption is still good, we're not doing well there. So for me, that's why I'm actually starting to look at, I think this starts to be buyable bottoms if you can get back down below 25 here in Brown Forman, currently around 26.36. This is a stock that, they own everything. Remember, they own their land, they own their reserves. Laying off people in this case is just, is a smart move by both companies. And cycles, as you said, cycles change. So all that can happen is tariffs could get better, not worse, I would hope. But you also had about $170 million in bourbon sales that didn't happen in Canada last year already.
Yep.
So
I
you see
that.
Mr. Flanagan's here to break down everything having to do with the markets. Mr. Flanagan, how was your holiday? And I hope you and the family had a great one.
Holidays were great. Happy New Year, guys, and to all the viewers. And please get that sweatshirt off.
Yeah,
I
almost
AFC
puked when I
East
saw it this
champions,
morning.
AFC East champion New England Patriots.
Well, as a lifelong Jet fan, still looking at 1969.
And that was an embarrassment by your team yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think you have much to say, Steve, on the. But I'm a Redskins fan, so I can't say too much either. So
All right.
I will stay quiet in this conversation.
Well, 2025 has been a rough year for the dollar. Right now, roughly around.
Mr. Flanagan, let's have you try to reset. We got that mic issue again. I'm going to try to unmute you. No. There you go. No. Try to leave the room and come on back in, Mr. Flanagan, if you would. Sorry about
All right,
that.
so while we're
everybody.
talking about this, and I'll do it a little bit later today. For those of you who don't know, Stock Traders Almanac. I have this every single year. You can get it on. I've sent you the link to get a good deal. My friend Jeffrey Hirsch puts out the Stock Traders Almanac. You can see that he actually signed it to me in a few places, actually. So for those of you who are out there, the link is out there. Getting a good deal. It's almost half. It's over half off on Stock Traders Almanac. So if you get out there, I saw Jeffrey up in New York. Signed an autograph to me. I will tell you right now, go get one of those. All right, Steve Flanagan, come back in.
Let's try that again.
Okay, rough year for the dollar, guys. down 9.7%, roughly at the 98 level. If we get much lower here in the dollar index, you're going to end up 10% down, which then goes a 20-year bad performance for the dollar. So Fed rate cuts, aggressive tariffs leading to uncertainty, fiscal concerns, shifting flows to gold from the dollar, and also the euro and the yen. But almost everybody sees the dollar in 2026 as a decline to the low levels of 90.
Ooh.
I'm one of those that says no chance. I'm actually on the other side of this one. Keep in mind that the dollar is still the reserve currency of the world. May got a little chip in it there during 25, but those items I talked about, watch them all suddenly move to the wayside. In particular, Fed rate cuts. You may have another one or two, but everybody's predicating a dollar lower on the rest of the world growing. Okay? Show me. Give me one country out there that is showing growth. Nobody is. So
Right. Yeah. Let me throw a curveball at you. And I never do this, Steve. Over the weekend, Iran's rial has collapsed again. It's now 147,000 rials to the $1. Shopkeepers in Iran are protesting. They're shutting down their stores, telling people, no, we're not going to sell anything to you because our rial is worthless pretty much at this point. We can't buy it, obviously. But how would you play that if you could play it?
I think what you're seeing is perhaps a theme that we have touched on over the course of this year. And that's, the populist, the global populist unrest with the politicians, the political elite that are running these countries and all getting incredibly wealthy. In Iran's case, all getting wealthy off of oil.
Including our own country?
Well, Steve, I think you're going to see a big change on that. Now you're really getting curveballs and knuckleballs at me. But I do believe you're going to see a big change in the U.S. because, and you highlighted early on here, the emphasis on the U.S. populace. I think you're going to see the Trump administration make some major changes in January, February in addressing that. Otherwise, I looked at the recent polls today, with 33 seats in the Senate up for grabs. The Republicans are favored to maintain the Senate but lose the House. And I think that that's a big concern to the administration. So watch for a lot of attention. Watch for tax rebates. Watch for stimulus checks and things like that. Both sides.
That's exactly what I said this morning, Steve. I don't know if you heard me this morning, but I agree with that. I think Trump's. I heard from administration officials over the weekend. I talked this morning that his focus is going to get away from this and going straight to economics because he's really hurting on the economics. I mean, I already had a 36% approval rating on economics on average. That's pretty bad for a president and going into a second year of his term. That's not normal. They do expect to lose the House, and I heard they do expect to lose the Senate. So I think the Senate's up for grabs, and I agree with you on that. I'm not sure yet, but I agree with that. I think you're right. I think he's going to focus on it, and I think that's why the market's going to push higher this year.
And as I highlighted the last time we were on last week, in the old days, you pulled a curtain to then register your vote. So my dad would always tell me when people pull the curtain to vote, they vote with their wallet, not what they talk about. So if the economy, growing pretty dang good right now, if we continue to see growth in the economy, I would say expect all the pundits to be completely wrong. And, honestly, they have been in most of these elections anyway, so I don't look at all that. Steve, like you and Howard, I get out into the stores, I get out into the street, and I look at what I'm seeing. You said the Disney was, packed over the week. Of course, places are still going. People are still spending money. And if you can affect that disposable income And keep in mind all these big, beautiful bills, all these tax incentives all suddenly roll into effect now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it aside. I'm watching day to day. I am very positive on the U.S. lead. I am very positive on worldwide growth, but worldwide growth is in the background. It's not leading, which many people are calling for the dollar. So with the Dixie 98.05, last week's close 98.08, last year's close, because that's what we got to talk about here, was 108.48. There ain't no question. Dollar is going to close lower on the year. I'm going to watch it carefully. I still have 97.
How much lower? How much lower?
I honestly think you are within about 50 points of the low right here. 97.20 is the level I've marked in the sand. If we break that, I would be my thesis on the dollar would be blown up. Not to say that we could go below it. If we come back above it, and that's what I always try to tell viewers, you put a level, be disciplined, adhere to it, react on it. But if it's a fake low, because everybody in the world has a chart in front of them, and every ship at the bottom of the ocean has a chart room. So if it does break, I'm out. But if it comes back up and starts trading above, I would re-enter that trade.
So back in September and back in July, we saw 96.38. So you wouldn't put the stop in down there either?
Those were spike lows, Steve. So
Okay.
I want to be disciplined here. I think 97.20. I think Howard's marked that on our charts since we've been talking. Howard watches me carefully and holds me to him.
He does. And me too, Steve. Don't feel like that. I get held to it too. So.
Yep. So that's the level I react on that. I would then be focusing on those spike lows, Steve, that you're referring to.
Okay.
But we'll look at next year. We've got the January 28th with the Fed and the Bank of Canada. Before them, Bank of Japan, now at 0.75. And many people are saying that Bank of Japan is way below where the neutral rate is. So
I heard over the weekend that they expect 100 basis points pop. Okay, so you're agreeing with that too, that 100 basis points in Japan?
I don't agree with that because the key here, and I would focus on, if I talk in currency specifically, the yen could be the big destabilizers to the entire world in 2026. And why? 240% debt to GDP ratio.
All right. U.S. pending home sales is coming in at 3.3%. We were actually expecting pending home sales coming in 79.2. Previous reading there was 76.7. Actual was 3.3%. Expected at 1%. Previous was 2.4%. So pending home sales jumping a little bit here.
This is what happens when you can get rates lower. There is so much pent up demand in the housing market. People want to buy. I think, Steve, you and I are in Florida. In my area, I would say things are starting to percolate on the upside again. Yeah. But there's at least a 25 to 30% haircut on home prices. So, you lower interest rates, you've got a lot of pent up demand out there. But, I think that what I'm looking at is a dollar-led recovery or a U.S.-led recovery, which is no longer in my quantum convergence. The space in the globe is available for many. It's no longer a solo U.S. driving mission. China is involved. Europe is getting involved, but they may be just slightly behind us. But I think that that's the whole thing that technology leads us in, is that the whole world gets involved in this growth upswing. And I'll emphasize that with money supply. Steve, you and I go back as monetarists, to money supply growth. 4.3% was the money supply growth in the U.S., the 21st monthly increase. But let's say, okay, Europe was up 2.8. Japan was only up 1.1, which is why I emphasize Japan could be a problem. China was up 8%, and the UK was 3.5%.
Yeah.
So the world is adding liquidity. What happens when liquidity goes into the marketplace? Don't drop a match, ba-boom. And that's where I preface a lot of my worldwide growth. The U.S. will lead, and we are already showing that with GDP. You start throwing in housing starts and housing, Steve, to the U.S. GDP, and you've got a very nice situation looking into 2026.
Just want to say thanks to everybody out there watching us so far. We're going to continue going on here, but we're now at 1,800 viewers right now. I think I'm looking at the live number of viewers around on Twitter, and I can tell you we're leading. So big thank you to everybody out there who's watching us, because I think that's the key, right? We've been right, and a lot of these talkie places aren't right. They don't have the quality that they need to have in order to be right. And we've nailed the silver trade here over the weekend. Steve has nailed the dollar trade here several times. Howard has nailed the fly trade several times, and crypto, obviously. And that's part of it, right? Is that we don't just look at charts, we look at every part of this to help people understand. I think you made a very good mention about margin requirements making a change with CME, Steve. I mean, we talked about that this weekend. And I'll tell you, Steve, I think a lot of people just don't understand. It's not just about charts. It's about understanding what's really going on behind, as you said earlier, pulling that curtain back and understanding exactly how the mechanics works of the market as well. Steve, I'm looking at oil. Howard asked me twice today about oil, and we know that oil is priced in the Nixie. So, are we going to see problems in the dollar race here in oil?
No, Steve. I mean, I think what you're seeing in oil is just an oversupply in the world. Yeah. Everybody's got it. Everybody's trying to produce it. At the moment, you probably still have downside potential, but you are very close to a bottom here. 45 to 55 is the buy zone. It could get there, but think of the stimulus that the oil market prices down here. I mean, I pass gas stations routinely now that are, in the low twos.
Yeah.
And that's a huge stimulus to people when you can shave $1 a gallon off from just not that long ago. But Steve, I wanted to just back up exactly what you're saying about quasar markets and why, we get to be that cutting edge. And one of the things I try to bring to the discussion throughout this year has been models that all the expert predictions rely on. The data has never encountered the economic shifts that we are entering into. So therefore, measures of risk that are based on these established patterns are essentially wrong. Throw them out. And that's why and you and Howard, we've been all over the Fed, because they're missing the point. They're looking at old data that no longer.
I'm hearing reports that Zelensky is asking Trump for assurance of up to 50 years of security assurances, not just a few months.
This guy was a former comedian, and I don't know if you've been following all the scandals that are beginning to percolate up.
Yeah.
And he's going to lose his support very quickly.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
This guy can either accept the fact that they've lost the war and let's get a peaceful settlement, or, unfortunately, the destruction is going to get worse. And that's a horrible thing to look for 2026 at. Let's just, end the war. Europe and the United States will create some sort of peaceful future for the
let's talk about that. I mean, it's not just Ukraine and Russia. We're talking about Russia being protected now, and you heard over the weekend that Russia said that they would back China over Taiwan. This is the BRICS going at each other. I mean, I'm confused. These guys confusing the hell out of me, right? Like, who do they love? They love each other. They love themselves. I mean, I'm confused, right? Tell me a little bit about why the China-Russia love fest here is now happening, but China and Russia, it's too much.
A lot of talk.
Yeah, talking. That's what I said earlier. Yeah, that's right.
Keep in mind, Japan, the new prime minister, has just announced the largest defense budget ever. They will have missiles that could reach into Russia and China. South Korea has just signed a massive, along with Taiwan, a massive arms deal with the U.S. So this is just the saber rattling that goes on. What Russia would like and what Russia needs is acceptance, because they have a lot of rare earth materials, and they would love to be back into the world's economic growth, and that means peace in the Ukraine. And I think Russia sees a piece of that. Remember, these political leaders are vying for their legacies. And in the world that I am advocating of a quantum convergence, they all see technology pushing the world in that direction, and they all want a piece of it. And war is not part of that equation.
Yeah, but it is a part of the equation, though. I mean, it's exactly the equation, right? I mean, it's part of what's going on, right? I mean, but I don't think that U.S. retail traders are putting that into the equation, right?
Maybe for the next 2 to 3 years it stays as a part, but let's look at Europe is going to 5% GDP with defense spending. Japan is now at an all-time high. Japan has flicked the switch and they're a nuclear power.
Right.
So what is happening, and I think that this is the realization that China and Russia are having, is that it is no longer the big bad United States. It is now spreading out. So their aggressive moves in the world are causing other countries to build up. And that is not a good future that they're staring at. And that may be 2 to 3 years away, but it is happening. So let's try the other side of the equation. And that would be less saber rattling, less war threats, and work on the economic gains that we could have.
Yeah, and you talk about all of this, and you saw over the weekend, I'd say a year and a half, the price of silver, the price of gold, the price of platinum, the price of palladium, the price of rhodium, all skyrocketing over. To be honest with you, there were good reasons for it to go up, right? But what about now? The prices have collapsed over the last over the weekend. I mean, I made a post that top is in and on gold, and I'm smiling all the way to the bank today. Do we continue to go on? Do we continue to fall here? Does this over, or will we go back up again? What are you thinking? And is it a part of the whole quantum convergence that you're talking about?
It is part of it, Steve. And I'll look at it. Let me give a snapshot. We've hit a top. Yeah. It's very possible that the top stays in place for a 3 to 6 month period.
Hey, I mean, the top in silver at $42 an ounce back in the 70s stuck around for 30 years, 50 years, right? So, yeah.
So let's just take $45. Silver's had what, a 35% gain. So take 17% off, and you're still in a bull market. And that's where I would say I'm looking to buy silver on dips.
We're here, of course, now that Ukraine has tried to attack Putin's residence in Novgorod region here, according to IFX. Looks like it's that's what I'm saying. I don't think that there's anything stopping this nonsense here yet.
That's a desperation move right there. But let's go to silver. Yes, it's going to come off. Will it stay off? No. Silver's going to $100 or more. And gold is going to $5,000 or $6,000.
Russia will retaliate, according to TASS, and Russia will change its negotiating position right now. So this just coming in now that Russia, I think the talks are off now here in Mar-a-Lago. What do you say?
Yeah. I would say what you've got to look at right now is that's probably a rogue general who ordered that. And whoever it was, has just messed everything up. But
Yeah, it's coming in fast now. News is coming in really fast now, but that is Thailand now accusing Cambodia of breaking in their newly signed ceasefire deal. The world's falling apart, Steve. And you're seeing silver popping here a little bit here.
Yeah, I don't follow headlines in that sense on things like this because, you're going to always get these shake and bakes in the market. I'm sure gold and silver will probably reverse and move right back up on this type of news. And you got to understand that there's a lot of people out there. I come from years of the late 70s, 80s trading.
We're now hearing targets and timing of Russian counterstrike after attack on Putin's residence has already been determined. They will be attacking Ukraine here now.
Yeah, and guess what? Who loses in this picture?
Everybody.
Everybody but Ukraine.
Yeah.
So, who ordered the attack? And now you're going to have how many more people that are killed here? And you're going to look at the populace of the Ukraine is going to look and go, what are you guys doing?
And it could be that you're right in regards to TASS is now saying that came from Lavrov's mouth. We know that Lavrov talkie.
Here's my prediction. Lavrov, he's gone. Next, within a very short period of time, this guy will just disappear. Because he's not conducive.
Can he define disappear in Russia? Does that mean
he'll be given one of those parachutes that give him a beautiful vacation somewhere out in Siberia.
Okay.
But, he's old school. He's old time. He's exactly what, and I'll go, hey, in the U.S., look at all these old school politicians. Look, bye-bye, get lost. You've accomplished nothing during your tenure, right? You haven't helped balance budgets. You haven't helped the people out on the streets. The income disparities continue to grow. So, I'm not just looking at Russia. I'm looking at basically this governing elite throughout the world, France, the UK, the people behind the scenes, they're gone. The LDP in Japan, you're gone. You've been in power since the end of World War II. This is exactly what's happening in the world as the populace is beginning to shift from, wait, what have you done for me? If I'm electing in a democratic society, what do I get for my vote? Nothing.
Is this a throw the bums out kind of year?
I believe it is, Steve. And that's why anybody forecasting 2026 elections, they're missing completely the boat. You know what you're going to get? You're going to get these Mondami types, and I'm not saying socialists. What I'm saying is youth. You're going to start getting these youthful candidates that say, yeah, I can look across the aisle and see that. Yeah, I would actually be for that, but I'm for this as well. And people are going to say, well, then that makes you a Republican and a Democrat. So what does that make you? An independent? Or, no, it makes me a person that wants to get in and get the job done for the people who elect me. And yeah, that's fairy tale type talk, but no, it's not. That's reality. Because the fairy tale talk is, no, you're not a Republican. No, you're not a Democrat. Oh, we can't agree on that. That's gone.
Is it though?
Well, no, technically, no, it's not. But I believe that the voting populace.
But you think that the voting populace wants them to come together? Is that right?
Is moving more and more together. And
over the weekend we saw this whole thing about Somalia in Minnesota, and the phone number actually goes to Governor Walz's freaking office. This is a problem, right? People are still seeing this theft of government waste. I think Trump is right. Government waste is still there, but how do you fix that problem? I think, yeah, okay.
You can't be arguing over a government shutdown over billions of dollars when we are hemorrhaging billions of dollars on these programs. You saw that video that kid put on. He walks up to a child care and they're like, sorry, can't come in. Well, I want to put my kid in here. Nope, sorry, you can't come in. They're all fronts. And you know, the thing about today, and back into Howard's world here of crypto and blockchain, the thing about today is you hit a button and you can see exactly where the money is going.
Right.
There's no hiding it anymore. And when
if you guys were listening to Steve a few minutes ago, he was right. Silver now at under 72 again. So the pop there on that news went right along, gone, right? So see, that's what we're saying. That's why it's different here when we talk about it from Quasar Markets perspective, is that it's not just, hey, let's look at my charts. Let's look at every piece of this. And I appreciate that, Steve, because you were right. You nailed it. Don't worry about it. We're going to go lower. So you did it.
You have to have a broad macro view when you look at things. And that's what currency trading, you know, if you looked at every world, let's boil it down simple. If every single country is a casino, you want to play roulette in the U.S., you need dollar chips. If you want to play blackjack in the U.S., you need dollar chips. Oh, you want to go over and play Texas Hold'em in the U.K., you need sterling chips. At the top of the chips where you get it is a currency market, is a currency trader who exchanges your yen for sterling, your dollars for euros. And we see a broad macro vision of the world and how the world is moving. Money moves first. It's what I echo and emphasize all the time. Is the dollar declining? Well, I don't know. Since April, you could roughly say, no, it's a flat line down here between 97 and 102. It's going nowhere fast. But what does that mean from a macro point of view? It means it's basing. It's a dollar that's come from 110 down, and it's not going lower anymore.
Right.
Yep. I draw a line in the sand, 97.20, to give you and the viewers a level where I get concerned. But likewise, on the upside, I also look at, you know, a 98.80, a 99.20. That's going to indicate the base is over and we're going back to the upside of the range. So watch currencies because it moves fast. Highlight it right here, right now. Dollar MEX, roughly 17.93 and a quarter when I started talking. Last week's close at 17.89. Why do I highlight MEX? Because it's a parking lot for high interest, no longer 10%.
Okay, you highlight Mexico. Would that also include silver? Because Mexico's a big producer of silver.
There you go, Steve.
Yeah.
Just going to find my way into that. Yes. So dollar MEX is moving higher and silver is moving down. Is that correlated? Yes, of course it is. And these are the things you have to begin to watch because everything has a knock-on effect in the markets. Hey, I'm long NVIDIA, but you've got to look at the other things in the world because your NVIDIA play could be correct, but when everything else is beginning to move, all the tectonic plates under the financial markets shift, then your NVIDIA call just could be wrong timing.
Right.
So you got to look at all the pieces. And when you highlight housing today, how, you know, I'm in the midst of looking at something and I got a 30-year, you know, quoted that you could get under 6% right now. I'm like, what? That's fantastic.
Are you listening, Howard? There's you're getting closer. He's talking about the house.
5.77 you can find.
Yeah. I mean, how low is it going to go? Maybe you might get a period where you dip under 5, but most likely anything under 5.5% is a, you know, close your eyes, refinance.
But I had friends over the weekend talk to me about they're looking to buy a home in the New Jersey area, right? The Jersey City kind of area. And they said every house that comes up on the market is gone with buyers and bids over and over and over the asking price and snapped up in minutes. Is that part of the problem too with housing though?
Okay, why? Because
I don't know. I'm asking. Yeah.
It's a limited supply. My house on Long Island that I sold, you know, is a limited supply. It's not like, you know, down here that, you know, all of a sudden the bulldozer goes in, takes out another 30 acres of land, and there's 100 homes being built. You don't have that sort of supply in a lot of the Northeast. Howard could probably attest to his areas, but you don't have that type of supply. So when a house does come on the market, people are like, well, I need to commute to New York, or I need to commute to Jersey City. And here it is, a 30-minute commute away, the rail line's right there. Boom, I have to buy that house.
We're still seeing spot silver here. It's still dropping here a little bit. Wow. Silver now 71.24 now. Another drop here. Silver getting spanked right now. I will probably be covering here at 68. For those of you who don't know, I'll probably be covering 68, which would make me flat where I sold it, that cover. So, that's what I like this drop here. Actually, you know what? I think I might cover here at 71.
I would say tomorrow's the big day, because tomorrow's really the last full trading day of the year. And if silver closes and gold close negative tomorrow, that's going to have a lot of leftover emphasis when you start January 2nd. And the interesting part is the setup to this year. We close on a Wednesday, half a day. Off Thursday, the entire world, the only day of the year, closes on January 1st. And then you open up on a Friday with weekend risk.
Yeah, I'll leave it alone. You know what? You're probably right. We'll probably go lower. I'll leave it alone. We'll probably go lower. Yeah. Because I think now the chase is to the downside now. The push to the upside, it was straight up. So yeah. All right, we're now 3,000. We're now 3,000 people watching us this morning. Appreciate everybody. That's a good number. I love it. We're now the #1 financial show out there, beating all the other big names, by the way. Thank you out there. We appreciate that. All right. Steve, want to get last thoughts here on this? Yes, we just blew through 71 now. No bids in there, 71. Wow.
So trading is a disciplined science that each individual has the discipline on a short position. And I bought CSL in Asia as the futures market opened, and I took half of my profit, just to give you my point of view, but I will not touch it. I will leave that a short silver in the market. I will simply say, hey, if silver moves back up above 73 or 74, I'll take my profit. But otherwise, I'm going to ride this on a downside move here. So that's
you're still short silver. You're not making a move here. Is that right?
Not at all, Steve. I want to watch tomorrow, because tomorrow to me makes my decision. On tomorrow, if I still see silver trading lower as a day type 2 or 3 day trade, I may add to my short silver position tomorrow. If it's continuing negative, I know what gets said in coaching. After a 35% move, everybody's going to chase this on the downside. Yeah, let's highlight, just like the way Bitcoin traded when it tested back above 110 and then started to make successive breaks down.
EIA says that they will release their oil numbers 1 hour later, their weekly numbers 1 hour later. Still having problems in the data there, so as well. Oof. Okay. All right, Steve Flanagan. Last thought here before we let you go, and Howard will take us home.
My last thought here is the measures of risk today are based on established patterns. And those established patterns are yesterday's news. They're no longer applicable based on $50+ trillion that's been added into the world since 2008 and accelerated in 2020 with COVID. So that's my thought, and that's why I'm so bullish as we look forward into 2026. It's been a great year. Thanks, guys.
Okay, for Quasar Markets Live, everybody will be back tomorrow morning bright and early to get you ready for the last full trading day of the year. Have a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the morning.